Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to today's webinar. My name is Gwen Sorley, and I will be your host today. There are a couple of ways you've connected today. Some of you are on Zoom, and some of you are on Facebook Live. So I did want to mention you can chat with me, whether you're on Facebook Live or on Zoom. If you are in Zoom, you can go all the way to the bottom of the screen with your mouse, and you'll see there's a chat feature. So if you have questions or comments, please do go ahead and type in your questions there. On Facebook Live, you can also type in comments or questions. I can't see those questions right now, so we will address those after the webinar. And we are recording this event, so you can access the recording either on Facebook Live, or we will also be sharing that in an email. Again, thank you for coming to today's Play Attention webinar. We are going to be discussing Play Attention's Media Player, which is an exciting program that allows you to control your media files, whether they're video files or audio files, by mind alone, or more specifically, your attention alone. And we'll talk about how you can use that system in order to enhance your reading program. Now, right now, we have a very unique opportunity because overnight, almost it seems, all of us became homeschool parents, or many of us became homeschool teachers. And so a lot of your time when you're teaching during your homeschool day is spent with different types of media. So you may have video files or audio files that are enhancing not just your reading program, but all of your learning programs that you're supplying to your child right now. And so it's important to mention here that although we're going to be talking about how to enhance your reading program, you can use Media Player for other instruction. So while we're going through this process, think about the other media instruction that you have that you might be able to incorporate with Media Player, because it truly can enhance your child's experience with all types of media instruction. Now, we're focused a lot this time on the reading process because many parents have a difficult time teaching their child how to read when ADHD is there. And really, this is because ADHD affects learning as a whole, right? ADHD affects specific cognitive skills that are necessary for the learning process, that are necessary for strong executive function. And these cognitive processes or cognitive skills are definitely necessary for the reading process. If you think about all of the different skills your child needs in order to be a successful learner, and a successful reader, meaning they are a fluent reader. They can read the material and comprehend what they just read. They can recall what they just read. In order for them to be really successful in that process, there are specific cognitive skills that come into play. First and foremost, of course, is their ability to pay attention to low stimuli. You know, many of you know that if you give your child some type of very high stimuli media, they can pay attention to that no problem. But when we get into a lower stimuli situation, much like reading a book, then it's really time for them to be able to direct and sustain their attention at will. And individuals with attention difficulties often, of course, have a struggle in this area. Also, while they're reading, they have to not only pay attention, but process the information that they're reading. They have to have that ability to filter out distractions around them. Because if you give them something to read, then you're expecting them to stay attentive to their reading while filtering out everything else that's going on in a typical classroom or in your home. And that is a struggle for many students, not just children, but children and adults with attention difficulties. Oftentimes they'll be able to tell you a little bit about what they read, but they also know what the bird's doing outside and what is on the TV and when the dog walked in and out, because they're paying attention to bits and pieces of everything. So not only do they have to be able to pay attention to their reading, process that information, they also have to be able to filter out distractions. They also need a good memory, and memory is oftentimes affected negatively by ADHD. And so they have to be able to remember in order to help them with recall and comprehension at the end of their reading. So when you think about all of these cognitive processes that come into play, you can really get a good understanding of why your very bright child who has ADHD oftentimes struggles with the reading process, reading fluency, and reading comprehension. So this is where play attention can help. We can enhance your learning programs and your reading program with our media player, combined with our body wave technology. So let's talk about what media player is. Media player works with our body wave technology. Now, some of you here today have play attention in place, so you have the body wave system. For those of you who are not familiar with the body wave system, this is our NASA-inspired technology. There are 3 sensors on the back of that armband, and those sensors monitor brain activity that tells us how attentive you are. And then that information is given over to the computer, where you're allowed to, when you're using play attention, practice specific cognitive skills just with your mind, or more specifically, your attentive state alone. So you're going to be using that body wave technology with media player. When you're using the body wave technology in your play attention session, of course, you're working on all of those cognitive areas that we just talked about. So when you're using play attention and you're interacting with the cognitive exercises, you're working on sustained attention, processing speed, memory, filtering distractions. You're working on all of those core cognitive skills. And of course, you can only work on those exercises if you are paying attention, because all of those exercises are brain enabled, meaning you can only work on those areas if you're paying attention. If you're not paying attention, the body wave system picks that up and the activity stops, or the character goes in the wrong direction. So you have to be actively engaged in the learning process in order to activate those cognitive areas. Now, if you are not familiar with play attention, or you would like more information on play attention, we did a recording of our webinar yesterday that goes in more in depth into play attention itself. So if you would like us to send you the webinar recording that goes more into play attention itself and the cognitive training and behavior shaping we do, please do type webinar in the chat box, whether you're on Zoom or on Facebook. Just type webinar, and that will make certain that you get a link to the webinar recording so you can review and learn more about play attention. Now, when you have your play attention system and you have that body wave technology, you can start media player. What media player allows you to do is actually pull in different media files, both video and audio, and you are going to control those media files just with your attentive state alone. And you receive that immediate feedback regarding your attention. So you can only play the video instruction. You can only play the media file, the ebook, the audio file, if you are paying attention. If you are not paying attention, then the media file will stop. It will wait for you to focus in, and then it will start again. And that is really powerful, because if you think about maybe you yourself as an adult, you perhaps have a TED Talk you want to listen to, or you may have a presentation that's in a video type format, or you may be doing some video conferencing right now that you have recordings of, or a webinar that you have a recording of. And sometimes you are paying attention, you're getting a lot out of it, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I don't know what they've said for the last 20 minutes, because you were sitting there, the video was playing, but your mind was elsewhere, right? Your mind was off in the Bahamas somewhere. So although you were physically there in front of your screen, you were not actively engaged. So when you incorporate media player with your presentation, that is a video file, with your ebook, that is an audio file, that video or that audio file will only play if you're paying attention. If your mind starts to drift, then the video will stop. It will wait for you to get back into that peak attentive state, and then it will start again. So you're only allowed to see or hear the media file if you are actually paying attention. And of course, if you are paying attention, then that's going to improve your comprehension of the material you're reviewing and also your retention. So this is why I mentioned earlier, don't just think about this as a reading program for your ebooks. You can expand this into other media files as well, whether you're looking at this for yourself or your child's learning process. So this is how we'll recommend using it with your ebooks, because ebooks are a great way to enhance your current reading program, right? When you're teaching reading, you're going to use lots of different methods. You will read to your child or your student. You will have your child or your student read aloud to you. You'll have them read silently. But then ebooks is also an important component in your reading process, in your reading instruction. And what you can do here is you can go to, there are many sites now that have free even ebooks that are online, and we have many of those listed on our help desk, where you can download the ebook, the audio file, and save it on your computer, and then you will actually bring that file and open it in our media player. And you see here, I have downloaded a program in our media player, and this is 3 Billy Goat Scruff. So you see on the screen, this ebook actually has not just the audio component, but there's also a visual component in this. So I pulled that down from the internet. It was from one of those free sites, and then I imported it into media player. And you'll see here at the bottom, you'll see a connect button. When I click that, that means it's connecting to my body wave system. Remember the body wave system that's monitoring my brain activity indicative of attention. And then once I am connected, I'm going to go ahead and click the play button. And when I do this, my mind now powers that ebook. It powers that media. So as long as I'm paying attention, the ebook will begin and the ebook will continue until my mind starts to wander, or I get distracted by my brother walking in from the other room, or I hear someone outside. If I get distracted at all and I'm no longer in that peak state, then the media will stop, the ebook will stop. It will wait for me to bring myself back into the present moment, pay attention, and then the ebook will begin again. So if you think about when you've had your child engaged in an ebook or a video file, and you might look over at them and it looks like they're paying attention, but you don't actually know, because again, they may look like they're paying attention, but their mind may be off in the Bahamas somewhere, right? It may be somewhere else. They may be drifting. And so the power of media player is that you immediately know when your child is actively engaged, when they're paying attention, and when they're not. And more importantly, your child knows when he or she is paying attention and when they're not. And the learning process only proceeds if they are paying attention. And that is key. That is key to learning. That is a critical catalyst in brain change. The critical catalyst in brain change and learning is attention. If you are not paying attention to the teaching method or the lesson, then you're not going to spark any brain change. You're not going to learn. So we have to be in that attentive state in order to learn. And the body wave system is going to make certain that you are actively engaged in the learning process. And that is the power of Media Player. You can incorporate Media Player into, again, any video file, any audio file, and make certain that you or your child gets the most out of that media because you are actively engaged. And when you are engaged, that's going to spark those neural networks that are necessary for the learning process, that are necessary for reading. If you have any questions, please do ask them. I can see your questions in real time here in Zoom. So what are the benefits of the ebooks? Because we talked about you're going to use a lot of different methods when you're teaching reading. And you might read aloud, they'll read aloud to you, they'll read silently, but ebooks definitely have a place in that process because there are many benefits to using ebooks, and even more so when you make certain they're paying attention to the ebook. What an ebook does allow is it allows to increase word exposure and improves vocabulary, because your child may be able to read independently, perhaps at a 3rd grade level. However, usually their listening comprehension is about 2 years above their independent reading level. So it is important to incorporate not only you reading aloud, but ebooks will give you the opportunity to increase that word exposure and improving the vocabulary. Reduces working memory deficit. The ebooks also removes that printed word decoding anxiety. Many of your children, you may notice, have a hard time decoding words. So they spend so much time trying to sound out each word that by the end of the sentence, they've completely lost what was being said during that activity, right? What was being said in that sentence, because they're spending so much time and energy just trying to sound the word out. So when you present them with an ebook, it gets rid of that decoding anxiety. It also teaches pronunciation because they're not only seeing the word, but they're hearing it pronounced. Increases reading accuracy by 52%. Improves comprehension by 76%. And when you combine print and audio, like the sample I gave you earlier with 3 Billy Goat Scruffed, it actually increases recall by over 40% than just presenting with print alone. And of course, it promotes a love of learning and a love for reading. And that's really key when you're teaching any type of process. Now, the ebooks, again, are just one piece of the puzzle. You can incorporate any type of media file at all. And Dr. David asks, what is the cost of the system? And I think you mean the media player. Media player is $149. Now, remember, you do have to have the body wave system in order to actually use the media player. So if you are a current client or you are starting your Play Attention program, you can incorporate Media Player, which is going to be installed on your same computer. It's going to open separately from your Play Attention program, but you're still going to be utilizing your body wave system. Dr. David, it is $149, but for all of our attendees, we are giving a 15% discount right now off Media Player. So you'll be able to take advantage of that. So anyone who would like a callback, you can just type in 15%. We'll give you a call back and make certain that we get you up and running on Media Player. And it is, Nancy asked, can we download this? Absolutely. You'll just download it from our support site and you'll be ready to start. So I hope this gives you a good overview of Media Player and how you can use it to enhance your media files right now and your video and audio instruction. We do have a really great ebook if you want to have some tips and strategies on reading instruction and how to help your child improve reading comprehension and reading fluency. We have an ebook right now that we can send to you. So if you would also like to receive that ebook, just type ebook in the chat box and we will be able to send that to you via email. I do hope that you've learned a lot during this session. Remember, if you want that recorded webinar regarding Play Attention Alone, just type in webinar and we'll make certain that you do get that. If you want the 15% off, just type in 15%. And if you would too, please type in your phone number so that we have the correct phone number for you so that we can give you a call. You are more than welcome to call our 800 number. But as you know, many of us are working virtually right now. So you'll probably leave a message or you'll have to wait for a call back. So if you would just type in your phone number and we will make certain that we give you a call back and we assist you as soon as possible. It should be within about 15 to 20 minutes to give you a call back. Please do keep up to date with us because we are providing lots of different resources within the next few weeks. And I hope you can take advantage of those. Tomorrow's webinar at 1 o'clock is going to review our iLab. So if you are a professional and you're interested in providing your clients with play attention distance training or working with multiple clients, then iLab is a great webinar for you. If you want us to register you for that, you can type in iLab. We'll make certain you get registered. Or you can go to our playattention.com site and click special webinars to keep up to date on all of the special webinars that are coming out to you here shortly. Also, next Wednesday, we have a great webinar to help you with effective work strategies as you are working at home. And we're going to provide you with work strategies that not only will help you now in this new environment where you may be working at your home office, but those strategies you can then utilize when you get back into the office. Thanks so much, everyone. It's been a pleasure talking to you today. I really do appreciate your time and your active engagement. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.